This is KGW News at Sunrise.
I had some great dates here, some really terrible dates here.
It's the end of an era. Pied Cow Coffee in Southeast Portland is closing its doors for good, and it's not alone. Coming up on Sunrise, we hear from other business owners who say they're struggling.
Meanwhile, the United Auto Workers of America are hitting the picket lines all across the country this morning. Details on why their negotiations with the big three automakers fell through and what it means for the rest of us. Plus,
so colorful and so energetic. I love it. Okay, we had some folklorico dancers in the KGW studio. We'll have a closer look at their performance, which is just one part of the El Grito Festival today and tomorrow, kicking off the start of Hispanic Heritage Month and Mexican Independence.
Christine, yes, thank you. That's what I needed this morning.
I know.
and then it stops.
Come on now, keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
No
Happy
fun,
Friday. We're all here. We made it to the end of the week.
Yeah. This is really exciting, isn't it?
Raise the
Am I
roof
the only
for us.
one that's not amped up on total energy?
You must be, because some weeks are longer than others, so I'm ready for Friday.
I'm just kind of going, here we go. We call this the Astoria column, folks. Lit up beautifully up in Clatsop County this morning, and a sign up on the hill that we don't have any fog at the coast this morning. The bricks are dry, skies are clear up top. Portland's sitting at 60 degrees. Whatever you ended up being yesterday at your home, you should be at least a couple degrees hotter today. 78 at noon. PDX hit 90 yesterday. Today, 92 at 5, but the actual high could go up to about 94. Here's Chris McGinnis.
To finish off the week. All right, let's get you live out the door on the roads. This is a live look out in Sunnyside. Anyone home? There's Town Center over on the left-hand side of your screen, wide open on I-205. We'll switch gears and take you to Clark County. The I-5 South Drive over the Interstate Bridge, equally free and clear, and the traffic map is mostly in pretty good shape on the freeways. Guys, no major freeway issues out there right now.
All right, Chris, thanks for that update. We want to jump into our top news story this half hour. The man accused of stealing a Portland fireboat is scheduled to be in court later today. Dustin Knutson is accused of taking the boat from Fire Station 21 near the Hawthorne Bridge yesterday morning. He's then accused of taking it to the Columbia River, reportedly stopping to ask for food and cigarettes along the way. The Coast Guard eventually caught up to him near Kalama. They say the boat had significant damage. Knutson was cited and released from jail. He now faces a few different charges, including criminal mischief and unlawful use of a vehicle.
The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help to find this man. We have a sketch of him there on your screen. So he's a suspect in a burglary that happened Tuesday morning around 8:30 near Sherwood. Deputies say he broke into a home on Southwest Westfall Road in unincorporated Clackamas County. Two women were asleep inside and woke up just in time to see this guy leave. They describe him as being in his late 30s or early 40s, about 6 feet tall, and wearing a Carhartt jacket. They say he left in a brown full-size pickup truck. If you recognize that sketch, call 911.
Now to a pair of business owners in Southeast Portland who say they can no longer make it work in the Rose City. The first is Pied Cow Cafe. Owner Jimmy Chen worked at the cafe for 20 years before buying it a decade later. Now, he says he's closing it for good after the business just couldn't bounce back from the pandemic. And just a mile away, Jakiva Bakery and Chocolatier is set to close as well, also citing the pandemic and crime in the area as reasons. Customers at both spots say they're sad to see such great businesses go.
It's really unfortunate to see how many Portland classic places are going down. It's just one after the next.
Portland small businesses are struggling, and we're no different. It's just very hard right now in this environment.
The owner of Jakiva says they will update their plans regularly on social media regarding when they'll close, while Pied Cow Cafe is scheduled to close Sunday.
More than 60,000 Kaiser Permanente employees on the West Coast, including 4,000 workers in Oregon and Southwest Washington, have approved a strike. They cite unfair labor practices, unsafe working conditions, and understaffing as reasons for this possible strike.
It could be their mother out there, it could be their father, it could be their child, their grandparents that need that care, but we can't provide it if we don't have the staff that we need.
Workers are also seeking a minimum wage of $25 an hour to meet the rising cost of living. Kaiser said in a statement it's offering a $21 an hour minimum wage with across-the-board raises of 10 to 14%, and says it's also committed to hiring more staff. 2 final bargaining sessions are scheduled for next week. Oregon state law, by the way, requires a 10-day notice prior to any strike by healthcare workers.
The United Auto Workers Union is officially on strike. It failed to reach a new contract with Detroit's Big Three before the midnight deadline.
So we're talking about GM, Ford, and Stellantis. NBC's Jay Gray has the latest for us from Michigan.
Good morning. The historic strike, a simultaneous walkout by union workers at all 3 U.S. automakers, began at midnight here at a Ford plant in Michigan, as well as at plants in both Missouri and Ohio. Workers not able to come to an agreement with the Big Three automakers on a new contract. The UAW union chief joining these workers on the picket line.
We want fair economic and social justice for our members. That's what this is all about. And it's a shame. They've drug it out. They waited till the last week. So here we are. We got to do what we got to do.
Now, the union had been calling for a 40% raise over the next 4 years, along with a boost to their pension and the end of temporary employees. The Big Three automakers said that they would counter with about half of that pay raise, and said that they would work on the pension situation. But the two sides just could not reach an agreement, and so now the strike is fully underway. It's a strategy. Strikes at different plants across the country, but like at this plant, it's not the entire plant, just a division of this plant. It will continue, they say, for the duration of this strike. Jay Gray, NBC News, Detroit.
Back to our area. We're going out live now to our Eric Patterson, who is at Portland International Raceway previewing Big Bounce America. There are a number of bounce houses packed into the space there at PIR. His camera right now pointing at the world's largest bounce house. We're talking like 16,000 square feet for this particular bounce house. Lots of space to have fun. It's going today through Sunday, also happening next weekend. You can find tickets at BigBounceAmerica.com.
Good thing it's not windy outside.
Yeah.
Or rain.
That's what I think.
You can't do those in the rain.
No.
Let me tell
is
you,
that right? You
I had
around,
a
I'm
house
sure.
full of little kids one year for my son's birthday because it sprinkled and they took away our bounce house. They're like, we can't set it up. All the kids have to go inside.
So event organizers are watching right now to hear what's coming out of your mouth. The words wind or rain will destroy their weekend.
The forecast is good.
Woo.
Good in a sprinkle, huh?
No, they
Wow.
wouldn't.
That's a little something.
Protecting their investment.
I'm going to open up Sprinkles Bounce House. We'll make a fortune. All right, here we go. We have mainly clear skies. I drew my yellow lines to show we're in the middle of nothing going on, all right? The warming air mass did eventually come in yesterday. It was a gradual warm up at noon. I wasn't sure if we were going to make it to 90, but you folks in Scappoose at 94, Hillsboro 92, PDX in Vancouver made it to 90 degrees yesterday afternoon. Here's what we look like today. Now, right now, surface reports are mostly that it's fairly clear at the coast. Futurecast has this, and you can see this on the satellite imagery as well. Look, kind of a low cloud deck just kind of hovering. That is mainly expected to hold out to sea today. So that's the only thing I'm watching. Otherwise, if you're driving to Seattle, driving out through the gorge, not much wind. Everything will just be sunny and clear. Here we are tomorrow morning, still basically sunny, watching some low cloudiness at the coast. And this does show a weak marine push trying to come up into, say, Cowlitz County. But then that backs off during the day. And then here's Sunday. I think this is way overdone on Futurecast. I think Sunday will be partly cloudy. I don't think it's going to be as cloudy as what this indicates, and it will be dry. And Sunday will be the day that noticeably cools back down. Now, overall, your weekend looks fantastic and certainly no issues with any of your plans. Here are the current numbers out the door. 52 up in Kelso. Portland, the warm spot, looks like, 60 out along the Columbia. 56 down in Salem, 50 over in Bend, 40 out in Baker City. Forecast numbers, generally a touch warmer today, wherever you were yesterday. You folks in Salem stayed in the 80s yesterday. You should at least make it to 90 today. This shows 92, McMinnville, Salem, and Corvallis. Winds will generally be light, north 5 to 10. And then up in southwest Washington, Austin, Kelso, Longview also stayed in the 80s yesterday. You could stay shy of 90 today. You'll be right there. Battleground 92, Vancouver 94. Northeast winds 5 to 15. Last I looked, Troutdale was reporting a 15-mile-per-hour east wind at this hour. But generally, winds are going to be fairly light, and gorge winds will be calmer today than they were yesterday as the core of the hot weather starts to shift a little bit more inland to the east. 94, 88, 80 are your weekend numbers. Still looking at some shower chances next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh, my goodness. No bouncy for you.
No bouncy for you. Got it. Thank you, Rod.